So we've already used we've already used the labels A, B, C. So I'm going to go with point D, E, F, G. If you want to label yours similarly. Alright? D, E, F, G. Now I'm just talking about the surface that I see there. Those labels only apply to that surface that I see. So if I transfer those same labels over to my end view, that would be D, comma, G on the bottom, because they're on the ground. So therefore this would be E, comma, F. There. So I've just applied the same labels to the other view. So now if I take D, G down parallel to the x-axis, and then from the elevation, if I take, well, D is already taken down parallel to the z-axis, so I'm just going to project G down parallel to the z-axis. So there I have the point, if we follow it here, there's the point D, there's the point G. And technically you can harden that in. That is the ground line of that visible surface. Okay, I'm going to bring EF down from end view. Likewise, I'm going to bring E and F down parallel to the z-axis. So that gives me E, and that gives me F. If your drawing is accurate, D and E should be vertically above one another. E to F should be at that axis. Well, of course it is. It should be parallel to the x-axis. And now you also have the angle F to G. So that's the first visible surface of this axonometric projection. So to draw the next part of this, I'm going to project down this point and the height of it. Okay, and where it intersects, the same point's coming down. So this line intersecting this line here, and this line intersecting this line there. Likewise, this point and this point here, and this point and this point here. I don't know how much of this is going to be visible, so I'm going to keep it as construction so as I can come back and do it later. The only part of it that I absolutely know can be hardened in is that line there, because we're showing that in the handout. Okay, I'm going to keep the rest of it, and again I know that this is going to start off as a hard line and it will eventually disappear underneath the roof of the entrance. So I'll just leave it like that for the time being. Focus. So I have 1, 2, 3 points in this curve, and I have the same 3 points in my elevation. I'd just be happier to get an additional 2 more points, so I'm setting up my protractor in line on the center of this end view. I'm just going to put a dot at 60 degrees in both directions. Okay? 60 degrees in both directions. From the center of the circle, if you just take a line up then at 60 degrees, that gives me 2 more points that I'm going to use for this, okay? Alright, so that gives me 2 more points that I choose to use for this. Now, it would be good to put labels on these points. So one of them is already labeled point E. We'll just go, we already have E, F, G. So let's just go with H. I'll just put this in black so you can see it. H, I, J, K. Alright? So we already have E and K directly behind it, so I'll just put that K, comma E. We already have that. I is the very top point that we already have. So now I need a distance for H and J to apply it to this line in my elevation. So if you draw a line across from H to J, we now have a vertical height for the points H and J. We can take that height on our compass and apply it onto our elevation. So that now means H, J has a physical height in our elevation and points on it. So now I can take H down at the x-axis angle and H down at the z-axis angle to meet, and that's it. Just do that same process with all points. So if I take H down at that angle and H down parallel to the z-axis, that gives me the point H in my drawing. Point I and point I. There's the point I. Next with point J. And J is on the point H, which I've already brought down, so where it intersects, which is there. No problem. And there we have the back curve complete. Right, so I'm going to finish this off. So, K and E on the front curve are going to be at that point. H and J on the back curve are going to be in line with that. So now I'm just essentially going to use these 3 points to finish off the front curve. So, just using same points to work this out. So, F, this point here where we've already taken it down parallel to the z-axis, gives me that point, gives me that point and that point. This one, bring it down, gives me that point in line with H and this point in line with J, and then this top point here, bring it down to be in line with I. So there's all the points you need then to finish off. And then all you need to do is just tangentially draw a line from the front curve to the back curve. Finish off how much of that surface you'd see disappearing underneath it. And that is part A, B and C complete.